Once he was in Boston, he met up with a man of the same age, Patrick Collins, who had been born in Cork and who had come to Boston at the age of 10, and who also had been active in Fenianism. With Collins's connections, O'Reilly was introduced eventually to the editor of the Boston Pilot, Patrick Donahue. And Donahue decided that O'Reilly would be a very, very useful addition to the Pilot staff, and he hired him immediately. O'Reilly wrote home soon afterwards saying that he just couldn't believe how his fortunes had improved once he had landed in Boston. Among one of his first assignments as a pilot reporter was to go up to St. Albans, Vermont, to cover a Fenian invasion of Canada. It turned out to be a terrible fiasco, with the result that a number of people were killed. And O'Reilly was totally turned off of Fenian activity as a result of what he saw, that incompetence, and particularly putting lives at risk. And it was shortly thereafter that he formally resigned from the Fenian movement and from Clan na Gael. It should be said, however, that O'Reilly never repudiated the long-term goal of the Fenians. He still was totally devoted to the objective of Ireland securing an independent republic. O'Reilly's enjoyed a very, very rapid rise up the ladder of the pilot organization. He got raises and promotions within just a couple of years. And his big opportunity came as a result of the tragic Boston fire, the Great Fire, which destroyed the pilot offices. It was at that point that O'Reilly joined with the Archbishop Williams to buy the pilot from Patrick Donahue, taking over the mortgage that he held and the debts that he owed to many of his insurance clients. Neither Williams or O'Reilly took any profit from what they made in the pilot until all of those creditors of Donahue's, all those depositors, were paid back. Under his leadership at the pilot, over the next 17 years, the circulation increased to somewhere between 60 and 100,000 subscribers. It was also during this time that O'Reilly did something very, very important, or had a role in, and that was in the formulation of what was known as the New Departure. And what this did was to bring about cooperation of the Fenian physical force elements and the constitutional nationalists to work together to try to bring a solution to the land question and to mobilize sufficient political support that the Irish Parliamentary Party could eventually have even stronger numbers in Westminster, and eventually, as happened in 1885, be the group that controlled the balance of power in the House of Commons. Without the kind of help that O'Reilly gave in formulating this new departure, it's highly unlikely that there would have been sufficient pressure to have either of the British governments decide to bring in a Home Rule bill. And in fact, it was American pressure as well as his own kind of moral sense that led William Gladstone in late 1885 to decide that Ireland's claim to have legislative self-government was a legitimate claim.